Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jefferies, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. People pleasing is bloody exhausting. We smile, we say yes, we hold space, we step in, we show, and then we wonder why we're bloody shattered by 2 p.m. The reality is it's not the doing that's draining us. It's the suppressing, the pretending, the self-abandonment that comes when we're trying to keep the peace, keep everyone happy, and keeping ourselves off the too much list. I know because I used to be a people pleaser. Every time we swallow our truth because we don't want to upset someone, every time we take on more than we have the energy to do, we pay for it with our energy and it sucks the life out of us. Our body knows, our nervous system knows that even when our face is smiling, yes, happy on the outside and stewing on the inside, our adrenals are screaming. And this isn't safe, it isn't aligned, and it is not healthy for us. We don't just burn out from doing too much work. We burn out from being too much. And I know because in the past, I also paid the price. So often women think that using boundaries, that they're like walls, they're cold, we'll be called bitchy. And so we become people pleasers instead of setting healthy boundaries. The reality is that boundaries are actually filters, okay? We can let the right energy in, the right people, the right everything, versus sucking the life out of us. Every people-pleasing moment leaks our energy, and every self-silencing moment chips away at our self-worth, our self-esteem, and our vitality. And every time we override our needs, we burn up our reserves. And when we do that day after day after day, these are the tiny little bits that just bite at us and cause cortisol chaos, incredible fatigue, and resentment. That's the biggest one, resentment. I know I resented so much in the past, and I kind of dressed it up as kindness. And I thought, oh, Jen's so good. I remember when I was working in the pharmacy industry, I was stewing on the inside, but I was holding it together for everyone. And so boundaries are important. They're there to help protect our nervous system. And they kind of tell our brain, it's all right, I've got you. I've got you. It's like a built-in feeling of safety. And that message alone can calm our entire nervous system, all of our body systems, in fact, so that our cortisol doesn't go running out of check because it's thinking, fuck, where's the next drama I have to protect you from? When we do that, it restores our energy. And we stop that slow drip like a hole in a bucket exhaustion that comes from emotionally overgiving to keep the peace. And energetic boundaries aren't just about saying no, although they are part of it, which is why that was the very first chapter in my 7 Steps to Sanity book, which is now condensed in and still included in my Fuck the Stress book. Saying no are like, it's kind of like that gives us the lanes for us to stay in on our terms. We know where we want to go. And every time we go and say yes, we go outside our lane. So how can we stop overgiving without feeling guilty so that we can stay in our own lane, stay strong, fit, and healthy, and not be emotionally taxed at the same time? And also do it without feeling like we're being a bitch, without being hard or selfish, because we're not selfish. Oh my God. If we be honest with ourselves, trading our well-being for approval is just soul destroying. So this is what I've done in the past to start, because we just have to start. Like I said, the very first chapter in my book, The 7 Steps to Sanity, which now there's a condensed version in my Fuck the Stress book at the back of it. The very first step to sanity is to learn to say no. Because when we say yes and then we stay resentful and give ourselves a hard time on the inside, that is just so damaging to our health. And in fact, it's more damaging than eating crappy food. So what I do is someone asks me for something. Our normal response is in this world that we just react. It's kind of like, yep. And then you think, fuck it, I don't want to do that. So I've taught myself to pause. I take a breath, and I get grounded. It doesn't have to be a long breath, but I can take a breath so that I can respond instead of reacting. And I ask myself, do I want to do this? Have I got the energy and the time space to do this? And if I say yes, it's a clear yes, and I choose to do it without guilt. All right, because on some level I see that it's aligned for me. It's good for me. If I choose not to, I think I'm overstretched right now. This isn't going to work. I choose to say no. And I say no, knowing that no is a complete sentence. Because in the past, I thought I had to do no, and now I'll justify why. And what I've learned is that when we speak from our heart, we speak our truth, and we're grounded, and it's like, no, sorry, I can't do that. Oh my God, what a fucking revelation that we don't have to go justifying everything, every choice that we make. That was a huge game changer for me. The next one is to feel the discomfort and do it anyway. So, like I said, saying no might feel really awkward at first, and taking that breath before you answer, and that's okay. That's the growth point. We always squirm right before growth points and breakthroughs. So, the reality is, we're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be well, to be strong, fit, and healthy. And giving in all the time and not having healthy boundaries is seriously taxing your health. I know it was a big one for me and really hard. I squirmed hard. However, it was just such a big lesson to learn, which is why I wrote about it in my book. So how do we get around it? The next one is to kind of have some basic replies ready in your head. Like I said, no is a complete sentence, okay? And you do not have to justify, okay?
Have you ever wondered how your life could have been different if you'd had access to this type of content at a younger age? Look, this is why I need your help. I'm working to build the #1 platform that gives real and easy to integrate healthy life hacks and mindset to help you get well and stay well. This show only grows by word of mouth and new subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you could click the subscribe button right now, leave a 5-star written review, or drop a comment below. Share this episode with a friend and I would be forever grateful. Now, let's get back to this week's episode.
So I might use no, that actually doesn't work for me right now. Thank you anyway. That's it. And then just be quiet. And they kind of go, oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. Now, the energy that we bring to it, if it's like an emotional from our head, like, nah, look, fucking frazzled, can't do this, they're going to receive it that way. Versus if we are grounded and steady and it's just, we've taken a breath, we're in our body, we're not stuck in our head, and go, no, that actually doesn't work for me right now. It's received so differently, that certainty. So for me, that's what I've built in, and that's the most common kind of response that I'll use when people ask me to do things. And it's self-respect to say no. The next one is to track your energy. So notice what you're doing through the day that's draining you, doing the obligations and the expectations. I've done some big work this year on releasing obligations and expectations and been working in lots of different ways across different modalities with it. Because for me, if I was struggling to say no, it was because I was still coming from that be a good little girl sense of obligation. And I went, obligation just doesn't work for me anymore. And as a 64-year-old woman, I deserve to be just going yes or no. And so, yeah, I've done a ton of work around that. And it's been invaluable for me because that just released that last little bit of it. So track your energy. You'll know what's sucking the life out of you. And then when you're asked to do whatever that thing is again in the future, you've got the ability to respond and say, no, that actually doesn't work for me right now. Thank you. Full stop. And then just shut up. Cool? That will keep your energy versus having it sucked out of you by doing things from obligation and expectation. The next one is to rest without earning it. Oh, no. It's big. It's big. We don't need to prove that we don't need to prove that we're exhausted to deserve a rest. We're allowed to rest before we hit empty. So if there's lots going on, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, I factor in downtime. And Alice, my wife, sometimes she'll comment, like, I'll just stop. And I won't stop and scroll or stop and read or stop or anything. I'll just stop and be quiet. And I'm just gathering, rebuilding my energy. Now, I am an introvert who plays the extrovert to cope in life. And so it's even more important for me to just be quiet and be still to recharge my batteries. And the next one is to use aromatherapy for support. I created my Fuck the Stress essential oil blend. Now, this is a pure essential oil blend that is not about relaxing more. No, it's about banishing self-doubt and boldly declares, fuck the stress, I am unmessable. It's my time. Oh, it's big. It is. When you smell it, it's a really bold and confident blend of essential oils like fennel, cedarwood, bergamot, lemon, jasmine sunbuck, which is the night-scented jasmine, which is such a great oil for helping us to stay present, not worry about the future or the past, just to be, petitgrain, basil, and nutmeg. And I have it, if you're watching this on YouTube, where you can watch all of my podcasts, just on video as well. I've got a little wooden block. And I put a drop of oil on that every day. Or you might have some gum nuts. Go, if you're in Australia, go out to your local park, pick up some woody gum nuts. Those kind of things will hold scent really well. A nice little bowl on your desk. Put your few drops of oil on. My Fuck the Stress oil is designed for you to go, no, thank you. That doesn't fit my program this week. Yes, it's time to regain our power. Because if we're constantly exhausted and you're looking at your calendar thinking, fuck, I can't. I have not got the emotional bandwidth to deal with this week. People pleasing isn't just about the time it takes. It's sucking our energy, our vitality, and our life force. And reclaiming that's the biggest power move on the planet, because it's directly influencing our physical, emotional, and mental health. It's time to rise strong together. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review, have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from, so that you always catch the next episode. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.